The new Mythic Legions wave has been announced. Sons of the Rising Star is here. This was shown at G-Con, at LegionsCon this year. I got to see some of these in person. We're going to go through them on screen share here, see what Jordan thinks. I'm worried for my wallet on this one. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan. And like I said, it's time to talk Mythic Legions, Rising Suns. So, this is kind of your too long didn't watch of G-Con, which I still would kind of recommend you go back and do that. But they did a whole, we watch Marvel Legends live streams when they're announcing figures. Maybe it's like a 30, 45 minute, maybe it's an hour if they're really long. This was a 5 hour, 5.5, 5:45, something like that. So if you don't want to watch a whole 5 hour G-Con reveal, you come to the Strong Collectors to listen to people talking about other people. So
that's what we do best.
This one, we're going to try to keep it under an hour. I think that should be pretty safe. But we'll just kind of go through, look at the pictures that they've shared. I think there might be a few pictures that I'll try to pull from the Cabal if they're not on the website, but I'm going to be sharing Source Horseman. Jordan and I did a predictions episode, but it was so bad that I think it's one of our only unreleased episodes because we just did it. And we were kind of going through the website of like, oh, this is the Red Suns. And it's just like, oh, we were just like, I bet they're going to make barbarians, and I bet maybe some sort of assassin, and it's just like all of our predictions were either like so obviously boring or
vague.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's because like with Legends, we can be like this character,
right?
You know, with Legions,
it's a little
difficult because they're just creating new stuff, which is cool. But as we found out, it makes it very hard to do speculation videos.
Right. So, although we are the best action figure podcast on the airwaves, right, you may go to some of the other Mythic Legion podcasts specific to get some of those maybe more on-brand predictions. Stick around here for the Marvel Legends McFarlane stuff. We got that down, but Mythic Legions is a little bit more of a mystery. So this is kind of like I said, it's like a very barbarian assassin heavy wave. The Sons of the Red Star was I think it's maybe the lightest faction in all of Mythic Legions. So it's kind of cool to get that more filled out. Noble Bear was a little bit more, because we've gotten some builders and things like that kind of go in that category. And you probably haven't taken too much time to look at these, right, Jordan?
I was looking at them a little bit, but
okay,
I definitely will be less familiar.
Okay, so this isn't quite the normal fresh eyes.
Not the blind react that you like to get.
Okay, that's all right.
I've definitely probably pondered it less than you have. So
okay, so I'm gonna go through these. I think this is the order that they got revealed in at G-Con. I watched the whole live stream. I did it time and a half though, so it might be out of order or something like that. But overall, this is kind of how they came out. So we're gonna start up the screen share and get into Broder of Bonjar. But I don't know. You gotta like roll the R. I don't know. Broder.
Bonjar?
Yeah, that sounds good, Jordan. Good job. Getting into his turns here. Very classic looking Viking.
Okay, one comment before you start.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, I was looking at this one and showed it to her, and she was under the impression this was a woman at first because of the placement of the. It kind of looks a little like.
Yep.
Some kind of a. Breast.
I showed it to Savannah, and Savannah said that he's got very much a Madonna type look.
Yes, there you go.
So I'm not sure if those are removable, but what
are those? Is that just supposed to be like part of the armor?
I don't know if it's part of the like shoulder pauldron or chest.
Oh, I see why it looks
shoulder
weird because it's clipping in, but then the like fur cuts off The fact that it connects to the
Mm-hmm. So maybe it's just the placement of the fur makes it a little bit odd. But I don't know. Savannah did say she really likes the head and the beard, the facial hair type stuff, which I agree. I think this is a super cool helmet. I like the way the eyes look. Usually I don't care too much about the soft goods, but I kind of like this. And it looks like it'd be easy enough to it looks like it just sets on and comes off pretty easily. So if you don't like it, I think this is the first time we're getting this circle shield in Mythic Legions.
Yeah.
I don't think we've gotten it before. And I would assume that this centerpiece pops off because we'll see later on some of the other figures can like come with swappable parts. Getting around to the other side. I did see them in person, and the weapons in this wave look crazy good. Like it looks like it's got like twine wrapped around it or something like that. And it's just painted that well. Here's his alternate head. Ooh. Again, I do like this head. Sometimes the wings can look a little out of place, but I think with him it works really well. Here's everything he comes with. So you're getting lots of hands, big spear, alternate horns, so you can swap out the feather wing type things for the horns, circle shield, the two heads, the shoulder pauldrons, this like hatchet axe type thing. I think this is supposed to be like a drinking horn. And Savannah and I can't figure out what this is supposed to be. And
I was wondering what that is.
It looks like a tiara. I don't think it is, but on the website, when you look at the list of accessories, it just says like belt trinket. So
yeah, I was wondering if it just hooks on his belt.
So I don't know. There's a lot of those in this wave, and I'm not sure what it is. So if you know, tell me in the comments what this is supposed to be. It does look very Viking-y, so it feels like it makes sense on here, but it just I don't know what it is. Yeah. Here's your 1/6 shooter shot. So all these are going to be kind of in the snow because they're kind of from the north. What was the name of the place? I don't remember, but
Canada.
Not quite Canada, but anyway, that's your first one.
Yeah, you're right. 2 belt trinkets.
Yeah. So have to look up what that is. Then next we got Manisha Cinderhorn. You think that's how you say the first name?
Sounds right.
I watched the live stream, but I did not take the phonetic notes on how to say all the names.
Right.
So this is a shadow elf, which since we've been collecting Mythic Legions, we haven't gotten any shadow elves in the like releases. So kind of a newer one for us anyway. I really like the color schemes here. I like the purple, the dark blues. The skin tone is cool. And I like that this is a sculpted hood versus a soft good hood. I just think those are, like the soft good hoods are a little bit more challenging to get to sit just right. So I like the mix.
I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Get into the turns. Big cloak. Here's what she comes with. So you're getting, again, lots of hands. The crossbow, a dagger with the sheath. I think this is supposed to be like a thermos. And this is the top of her kind of wavy spear. You've got the masked hooded head. You've got the unmasked head. And this is from one of the Cosmic Legions. I think it's Ziri. And then this is your kind of more typical shadow elf head, which I think that one is my favorite. I kind of like the long white hair look. I think that's pretty cool. And there's your shot kind of in the city streets. So what do you think about that one, Jordan?
The Cinderhorn?
So this is a 2.0, so it's on the more like slender body, kind of like you have like Father Christmas is that kind of size. And a lot of people have been asking for more 2.0, more females, so I think a lot of people were pretty excited when they showed this one. This one's a for sure pickup for me.
For sure.
Sure. I love it.
All right.
Not my favorite, but I love it.
I don't know if I'll give it a for sure. I want to see. I want to see more before
Okay.
I give those stamps out.
Understandable.
But, I think it is. I think the female figures. I think when you can do them in a way, I mean, I get it. They have the barbarian ones. But I'm kind of partial to more of this kind of look.
Yeah.
You know, I think kind of the. I guess I don't know the backstory on the figure, but this aesthetic, I do agree. I like it. I like that the little pauldron thing is painted a little blue too. It's kind of a fun blend of colors you have.
Yeah, and there's like tons of stuff new in this, so I'm not gonna catch everything that's new, but I don't recognize these gloves or these boots. These boots look like we could be getting some pirates in those boots. These gloves look a little bit like we could see them on maybe like somebody forging. Like I could see somebody with like a hammer and like pounding out a sword.
Right.
So I'd like to see some customs with these. You don't see a ton of 2.0 customs as much as you do 1.0s just because the parts aren't as like available, but I'm excited for this one. This one looks really cool. The colors is pretty much all I need. And then the fact that it's cool is also good.
Absolutely.
Next up, we get the Exiles from Under the Mountain. So this is a 2-pack of dwarfs, starting out with the 1/6 shooter shot. We'll get into the turns. So this, I think, I really disappointed Savannah on this one because I think this is her favorite out of this wave, and it's the one set that I don't have any interest in. Usually I can be swayed by what she says. Like if she likes something, I'm like, "Oop, there's a green light to go buy it."
I have to get it now.
Exactly. And this one, I don't think I'm going to. So,
okay.
First time ever getting a female dwarf, I think. Well, I guess there's Ragna Stormforger, but it's kind of a different looking dwarf. I feel like she's kind of more goblin proportions, maybe. I've never had that figure, but I just know she's more slender than this looking.
Yeah.
Get into the turns. Savannah loves this shield. I also think it's kind of cool. Again, you get that thing that we don't know what it is. Savannah commented on the butts. Look weird how they're like shaped like butts. She's like, I don't think that's how armor would actually be shaped, but you know.
We'll let it slide.
Exactly. Alternate heads.
Ooh.
First time getting a torch, so this is pretty cool. I'm not in love with these type of like blade type ear accessories on those helmets, but this one I think looks the best out of all of them that I've seen, and especially this face. Like I love the look of this helmet.
Yeah, the helmet itself looks cool. Then you see those details, like you said, on the axe, where it's like the wraps around it.
Right, and like I don't think these pictures, these pictures don't even do it justice from how they looked in person.
Okay.
There's everything you're getting with the 2-pack, because they had said like they wanted to do a dwarf builder pack, but then people will say how with those builder packs you get so much accessories that would almost be better to have an extra body on there to put those accessories on versus just filling up your fodder bin. So they were like, all right, here's your female and male dwarf with some kind of like builder type pack out. So they each get shoulder pauldrons. You get the unmasked heads for each, the helmeted heads for each, one shield, one torch, one tiara trinket thing, a sword. I think it comes with a sheath. Yeah, it does. It's just not pictured here. Kind of a bigger axe, a little bit smaller hatchet type axe, big hammer, a bigger drinking horn than what we saw with the other like belt trinket horn, and then a couple different hands for each. So, then I think these are just, single turns. Oh, soft goods. Comes with a hood and kind of a cloak wired. This looks pretty good. I do like that. She's got the soft goods kind of skirt piece. But, yeah. Savannah really liked these. I feel bad for disappointing her and not probably pre-ordering them. Unless, for some reason, everybody just floods me with Store Horseman gift cards and I go all in. But kind of doubt that's going to happen. Next, we get Dispatar. This one I'm a little bit torn on because I love my kind of samurai ninja Asian influence type of figures. Got the extra hands holding the extra swords. You can kind of see it's a little bit more scorpion-ish. And I believe they said this was a new race, so we're going to be getting, I would assume, more figures of this race in the future. Maybe not quite in this look, but something along the lines. This is crazy looking to me, and it's removable, so you could just have it on the floor as like a kind of like a creature. It's, I don't know.
So that ports in with the arms?
Yes, so the arms are attached to the little scorpion thing. I think it ports into like where you would put your wing adapters.
Right.
And then you kind of got the green detail down here on the tail, making it look poison. I don't know how I feel about this little scorpion thing on the back. I feel like it looks like it's like a person standing behind him holding extra arms. So maybe it would look cool with the arms ported off of it. But I don't know. It's interesting to me.
It's definitely interesting.
So there's your 1/6 shooter shot. But then you also have the alternate head. So you've got kind of the more like taller crown and the smaller one. You got the like chainmail veil, the totally unmasked head, a sheath for your sword, and then 3 other swords. And then these also port together to be kind of like a single
super sword,
like a Darth Maul type thing.
Right.
You got your kind of like a exoskeleton bug type shoulder pauldrons, which looks kind of interesting. And you got the bigger green flame torch. And these flames are interchangeable, so you could swap with the dwarf set. Make it red, make the dwarf one green. And then this is not only swappable heads, but swappable faceplates, kind of like your Monkey King. So you can have the veil on with the short and the long crown unmasked on both too. I think I more prefer the veiled look.
Yeah,
I don't know what it
I
is.
like that too.
I don't know what it is about that. Like,
almost looks too much like a alien.
Yeah, so maybe we would see this some crossover in Cosmic Legions. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah,
or maybe it's cooler to just imagine what the face looks like.
True. So I don't know. This one it kind of reminds me of the that Motu tribute one they did in All Stars 5+. I don't remember that blue one. I didn't love that blue one either. So maybe that's just like it's giving me the same kind of creature. Usually I love the creatures and the weird stuff, but this one I think I'm going to pass on. We'll see. Then we get into a female barbarian. I don't remember how to say her name. Navi, maybe? That seems kind of too Avatar-ish, but anyway. Female barbarian. She's a 1.0 female, which I don't think we've ever had before. I mean, the dwarf would also be kind of that 1.0, but it's dwarfed. They, again, saw this one in person. She kind of reminds me of what Marvel Legends is doing with Power Princess, where it's like a big, strong, tough-looking female. That's what this figure is, especially in person, because like they don't have any side-by-sides with her on the website right now. But seeing her in person, I was very surprised with how big she is. I like the hair and the face paint, and this is kind of what I was talking about with the shield, where you could port that bear onto the other one as well.
Pop that off and
yeah. Again, Savannah kind of mentioned the butt. It's a little strange how it's totally carved just right. The boots, though, I do like the boots. Again, another belt trinket thing that I don't know if that's a compass or I'm not sure. I'd like to. I'll have to watch some more of Jeremy's videos to see what that actually is. And then this is very similar to Marvel Legends Captain America, where the shield has holes in it, and I think you can port up to 7 arrows in there.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Have they done that before?
Nope, first time doing that. And this is
That's cool.
I don't think there's almost any reuse on this figure, I don't think, being that she's a 1 point. I mean, like, obviously this head is a reuse, but otherwise I think like the actual body is mostly, if not all, new. So here you can see these arrows will also port in. You can see just barely the holes. So with how small the arrows are for Mythic Legions, I think people are going to be much more okay with this than how they feel about the 20th Captain America.
Right.
Because I know a lot of people like to...
effects.
Yeah, some people don't like how it has the holes in it. You can't display it without. This one I think will still display just fine without the arrows stuck in it. But also, I think it'd be kind of cool to put the arrows in there. So it's very similar to how I feel about the Captain America. It's like I want my Captain America posed, with cool stuff.
Like some kind of actions going on.
Mm-hmm. So you get your arrows, the shield. Like I said, this bear will port off of there, I would assume. Not 100% sure, but I'm like 90% sure. Alternate helmeted head, the unhelmeted head, pauldrons, some sort of compass thing, a couple extra hands, an axe, and a sword. I think, what is this? Yeah. So there's your 1/6 shooter shot. I think, again, not 100% sure, don't quote me, but I think the skull here is swappable with other skulls too. So that's kind of cool. Next up, we have the Yoshinari Carry, I believe is how you say it. You know how I love my Oni looking stuff?
Right.
If I was going to get a tattoo, it would, well, I don't know. I feel like if I got an Oni, it's a little too cultural appropriation-y. But I do love the look. Got the Fortnite mask up on the wall. But this figure is using a lot of parts from the Monkey King. So this armor is almost all from Monkey King, even the soft goods. But now they're using it in the Mythic world. New face, obviously. I like it. Let's get into the turn. Alternate head. So I think that the kind of purple stuff, I don't think those are horns. I imagine that more to be like almost like a magic effect coming off of there. And then we've never gotten this type of long, I can't remember what the name of the weapon is, but kind of a spear-ish type thing. But yeah, I like this head. I would probably display him with this head. Tons of extra hands. The two swords, those come with their sheaths as well. The long spear thing that I can't remember the name of the weapon. The shoulder pauldrons, and the two heads. I think these hands, I don't know, these hands just look like they could be used for something else. Kind of like a green zombie type of look to me. Just because of that like dark wash over the green. I don't know what kind of creature that would be, but I could just see that being reused very well. And then here's your 1/6 shooter shot. So I don't know. What do you think of this one, Jordan? Because I'm very biased to my Oni stuff.
I mean, I think it's definitely cool to see them doing, like, I guess, more unique designs. I mean, not to say the other ones are unique, but, like, you kind of get, you have your idea of what you think a barbarian or
a knight.
Knight and all that kind of stuff. So I think this is kind of cool to see them branching into, like, even the design on the face with, like, his fangs, like you said, kind of making almost that mask look, but it's more of a, like, through the character's natural face. I'm curious. Yeah, So that is that helmet? Something
I think
new?
the helmet
Or
is new because the Monkey King didn't come with that. So yeah, new head. I don't think we've gotten feet like that before. I can't remember. The hands seem similar to like what like a ghoul, like maybe in the Undead Builder pack, might have similar hands to that. But then I think everything else on the body is a straight like reuse from Monkey King. which
Okay.
I was totally
Well,
expecting, and I was excited when we saw Monkey King because I was like, all right, cool, we've got these kind of samurai type of
yeah.
parts in the library, and I'm excited to see more of it.
Yeah. I think it looks like a cool reuse
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I mean, I definitely could see a lot of people being happy with how they reuse that, and hopefully we'll continue doing different sculpting with it.
And then we get into kind of looks like Rigatoni, just a quick glance.
Rigarion. I did see this guy. I showed him to Sam. She thought he was cool looking.
Okay. See, Savannah thought that he looks too nice. She's like, oh, this guy wouldn't hurt anybody. She thought she would equate him to the same level of ferociousness as Korg in like the Thor movies.
What is that spear though? Are those severed heads?
Well, that's what I thought too, but I think me and Savannah were talking about it as like it's more like forged like silver. So it's like a hammer.
I thought that was like a dark thing where it's like he beheaded some creatures.
He just killed a couple goats for his hammer.
I don't know. That's why I think Sam looked at it and she was like, he looks very culty. And I was like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I think
but maybe that's not the correct interpretation of his vibe.
Maybe he severed a few heads to make a hammer, but
yeah, you're probably right. As I'm looking at it, it looks a little more like it's like the design.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say right off the bat, those hooves are impossible to get someone to stand in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have my Equidron out anymore.
It's not impossible, but
right. So
I can't tell you how many times. Would that be the same as like the Furious 4?
This would be way bigger than the Fury. This is ogre scale.
Oh.
So yeah,
okay.
yeah. So you're gonna get a lot more.
Okay. That changes things.
Yeah, it should be more sturdy than the Furious 4. But
ogre scale?
Yeah. This dude's big.
Wow.
It's a full blown big Minotaur now, not just the small. Because I agree, like with the Furious 4, Pitorion, Torion, all the other Orions, they're supposed to be like bulls, and I imagine like a Minotaur being kind of like towering over people.
Right.
So I think I'm really glad that we get this. Savannah was just like, this looks too much like a whatever kind of, what is this, like a Swiss cow type thing?
Right.
She's like, he's got like the cute flat nose,
right?
The like browns. That's why she was like, oh, he's probably just super nice. He's got like you would expect like a big giant bull would have like a deep booming voice, but she's like, nah, he's got the like, hey everybody, let's go hang out.
Right.
So he's got the tail, pretty detailed in the like, armor parts, like with the spikes, and you can kind of see all the like details and like even the like fur coming out from underneath. He's got, this is probably like the similar fur to like what comes on the ogres.
Right.
And these heads are the heads from the Chimera from Baluilith.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
that
kind
gives me a sense of the scale.
Exactly. Like those heads look kind of tiny when hanging off of his belt. But yeah.
All right.
Big boy. She was also saying like his eyes, like somebody mean can't have that blue of eyes.
It's just so much soul in them.
Exactly. Yeah. I still would probably
make
portray him a little. I mean, not evil, but he'd be tougher than what she imagines him to be.
Okay.
But yeah, I you know how I love my big chunky figures.
Right.
This dude's big. Then we get into Scapular Crit Baker number 2. So this is one that we talked about on our predictions because obviously anybody would have predicted this. And this one is, so everything that we've shown so far as like a regular figure is $37. We'll kind of go over the prices at the end. The 2-pack is obviously more. The Ogre is more. Scapular is a deluxe figure. So he's going to be, again, we'll have to check the prices, but I think it's like 45, 48, something like that maybe. But he comes with a ton of stuff. He's got the spear and the shield, dagger with the sheath, kind of the canister. These throwing knives come out. This trinket thing again. This is a blowgun, like shooting out darts, which they thought was very funny that the skeleton would have that.
He's a skeleton.
And they had mentioned something along the lines of, since he's like a undead skeleton, he can't really get the pleasures of like the living, so he collects like the riches and collects items. And Savannah was like, whoa, are they worried about like hitting the nose on the head there with the collectors? And like, we can't experience the joys of life, so we collect toys.
We collect
toys? I don't know what the horsemen are thinking, but maybe they're just like, so the psychologist was like, actually, you should make this his...
Yes, that's his thing. He does have a lot, man, he's got a lot of stuff.
Right. He's ready for...
those little potions and vials and stuff.
He's going backpacking across Mythos.
Cans of beans on his back.
And more on this side, too.
Okay.
Alternate look for you. So this is the Emir. So it's kind of his like alter ego as like the leader of the assassins. Soft goods, I think, are very similar or the same to what came with Mask of the Red Death.
That's what I was thinking.
And then this is a swappable faceplate where you swap out the skeleton type face for this more like armored mask.
Reminds me of those guys in 300.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, okay.
There's a little close up. Oh. I like the shoulder pauldrons on the outside. I think that's kind of cool. And then here is what you're getting. Different hands. So you got the brown hands for kind of when he's got the full robes on. The dagger with the sheath. This dagger also has a sheath. The blowgun, the 2 throwing knives, the canister.
Thermos?
The thermos, yeah. He's taking his soup around. His little pouch thing. Longer spear. Shoulder pauldrons. Swappable faceplate for the head. And then this is the first time we're getting this more rounded shield, which I think is pretty cool. And then there is your scapular.
There you go.
So we're not quite done yet, but you love your skeletons, Jordan.
I do.
Is this a skeleton you could love?
It's a funny way to phrase that. I mean, part of my hesitation is like, I almost feel like we might have too much going on.
I don't disagree.
That guy.
I don't disagree.
But it's like, I get it, but it almost gets to the point where like you got so much stuff, it looks kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like if you set him up with all that gear, like in the first picture, I feel like I couldn't really do. He just kind of has to stand there, you know.
Right. He's just kind of doing that.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think this little trinket thing we could have
skipped. They might have done way too much.
I think I would have liked if we could have lessened the offering so he still came in at the standard price.
Maybe that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. No, I feel you there. It is kind of like 2 characters in one with this separate look. I just don't know if I would ever display him like this. Like I feel like I would need 2 figures to do this. And at that like $40 whatever area, I don't think I would buy 2 to do that. So I think if we would have maybe, like you said, skipped out on a few things, like keep some of those hands, keep this, keep the blowgun, even though that's funny. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do with like really beefing him up because he's the leader of the group. But I don't know. It is weird to complain about having so many accessories with them going all out, but
yeah,
I think it's fair.
But probably good because then, gives you more consideration when it comes to which ones you're gonna get.
Yeah, true. Then he's got his steed. We've got Umbra, the very first unicorn in the line. So they went with the dark unicorn off the first one. Since it's, like I said, Scapular is wanting more of the riches of the world. His horse has got to be, or his steed, his mount has to be in the same vein. So he gets a unicorn and then decks that unicorn out. So this is all, like, obviously it's a new head because we've got the horn. At first, I was thinking that the horn would port off and then you could port on like normal horsehair.
I was wondering that.
But I think it's all attached. I think, not 100% sure. The mane, we've never gotten a like ornate mane like this. The tail is new with the rings. Everything on the horse is new. Like obviously the neck, the body, the legs are all the same as other horses. But the like decorations, add-ons are all new.
Yeah.
But then it also comes with the alternate head, the alternate tail, the alternate mane. So you could just make it your standard black horse, swap out the bridle, the saddle, all that stuff with your more normal looking horses, and you could just have a black steed. And there he is. So I don't know that I need this one because although I like the idea and I understand that like it's kind of got to be a little bit more ornate and decorative, I don't necessarily love it for my display. And since I don't have a ton of room to display, I've got to be super picky and choosy with my mounts. I think I'll wait for maybe the next release of a unicorn, maybe like the all white unicorn. But then I don't know. Do I need a unicorn? That just seems so fantasy that I don't.
Too far for you?
I kind of want it though. We'll see what comes out with it.
Those horses are taking up a decent amount of space.
I know.
So they're pretty big.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
You gotta kind of pick and choose with your steeds.
And with the amount of figures I have on pre-order, I really don't have the space for what I've already got. So I definitely need to pass on this one. We'll see what happens when the next one comes out. Then we get into Atlas the Conqueror 2. So another one that we kind of predicted along with everyone else. This one looks pretty cool. It gives me very like He-Man vibes.
Right.
Even like this belt part makes it seem a little
looking.
Yeah. So he's kind of like the half armored, half bear skin type of look going on, and it's kind of similar with like a lot of the 2.0s we've seen with Sir what's his name? Heaven's Brand.
Right.
Sir Gideon. He's kind of got the more like eagle looking shoulder pauldron. Atlas has more of the bear. Even down here on his boot, you can kind of see the bear decoration. The axe, I think, looks pretty cool. We'll see that a little bit more on the other side. You get the like two types of animal fur cape. This part here, I'm not sure on because it looks like it's just a straight like plug into that port. But we've never had that before in Mythic Legions, so I'm not sure if that's like kind of a dual pauldron here where like there's something else down here that connects the two and it plugs in the back. But that would be kind of interesting if it was just a straight in and out plug.
Into the shoulder, yeah.
Interesting, but then also translate that into like, is he just like somebody's shoving a spike into his back so its cape stays on? I don't know. I'm going to need some explanation there. But yeah, I really like the look of this axe. I like the details on there. Even like the details on his, like he's got the gem on his wrist guard with the horn. It's a good looking figure. Alternate look. This is more of his time in the Colosseum. A little bit more gladiator type helmet, but he's even got the bear up on the plume. Couple of sword and a dagger. I will say I'm not a huge fan of this looking head. Looks a little too like fencer to me. But I really like this unhelmeted head. He's got the axe, the short sword, the long sword, the dagger with the sheath, shoulder pauldron, I guess an alternate wrist guard, or maybe that's just like, maybe he comes with the bear wrist and then that maybe that slides on. I don't know how that one works. This thing is a little bit of a mystery to me here. The shoulder pauldron we mentioned, and then his hands are kind of one bare hand, one armored hand. So kind of matches his look. And there he is in the snow. So what do you think, Jordan? This one, another 2.0. He's coming in at the standard price.
Okay. Yeah,
You're not like a crazy He-Man fan, but you do
not
like your
necessarily.
barbarians.
No, I do like. I do. That is very true. Um, I don't know, man. I might need to say, out of them so far, I think this one intrigues me the most.
Okay. I think that's the correct answer.
I'm assuming you like them.
I do like him.
All right.
And just like Scapular, he's going to need a mount. We get the
Oh,
bear. So this is Bodvar. So we've gotten horses, we've gotten unicorns, skeleton horses, moose, a moosin.
Mason?
And now we've got a bear. So
Bear.
this bear is ginormous. They were saying, Eric was saying that this was like the hardest one to sculpt because of all the fur. Let's see. I think there's an alternate head. So rather than having the articulated jaw, because they were just saying like with the way that like when a bear actually like opens its mouth, it's not just like open and shut. Like it's got more of the like baring its teeth, like the lower lip kind of drops.
So they, its teeth?
They added in just a new head rather than the articulated jaw, which I think is a super smart idea. And then it doesn't show here, so I'll have to add it in later, or I'll put up a picture now. But it does also stand up, and when it stands up, they didn't like how the neck articulated, like it wasn't able to like look down as naturally. So they're putting in a whole other neck peg, like you pour off the neck and then put it so it's more of a rounded neck and then stands up a little bit better. And when it does stand up, it stands as tall or taller than the trolls. So
that's pretty wild.
That's huge. Now you've got a moose, Jordan.
I do have a moose.
You gonna put some more woodland creatures into your mix here?
It would be kind of fun to add them to my my alder moose with my Father Christmas.
That's true. All right, I believe. Oh, then we've got the weapons packs last. So, with these, similar to what we've got, there's a blue torch, again swappable with the green and the orange if you wanted to. Another dwarf hammer, another different painted drinking, or I think you could also do kind of like the battle cry horn.
Right.
A similar shield to what came in the dwarf 2-pack. This tiara belt trinket, sword with a sheath, axe, another compass type thing, and another horn type thing. So, not a lot there for me, really. I like the hammer, but I don't like that one as much as I like the Barbarian weapon set. So this one's coming with the round shield. I don't believe there's any holes in here, so you can't do the arrow effect. You've got the swappable bear kind of centerpiece. Sword with the sheath, a longer sword, more of the single-sided axe, the double-sided axe, the large battle axe, and then these here are kind of like neck ports. So I don't know if you remember my orc that I have that he's like holding the other orc's head on a chain. That's more what this is for. So you can port your heads on there, like skulls or whatever, and then you can hang them off of the figure's belts, kind of as trophies or things.
Interesting.
So I really like the idea that they're doing that. I will say I did it first. But even this axe here, like that alone almost makes me want to buy this. So this might actually be the first kind of accessories pack that I end up purchasing. So with all that, here is the all-in is $550. With the all-in though, you are getting this alternate dwarf head. Let's see. It's only available in this paint scheme in the all-ins, but they did say they were going to do a retail version that's going to look differently. But this is kind of a tribute head of a custom figure that they had done of a fan that had passed away during COVID. So he has like a full like tribute custom made, and then this was the head from that. So now other people can kind of have that memory of him in their collections as well, but still keeping like the custom, like unique to that family. So kind of cool there. going back, we can kind of see all the prices here. So let's see. Scapular, 48. The mount for him, the unicorn, is 60. The bear is 85. A little pricey, but like I said, it's humongous.
Big bear.
The 2-pack for the dwarves is 75. The accessory packs are 20. And then the ogre scaled minotaur is 60. And then everything else is 37. So, knowing all that, Jordan,
yes.
And I assume you're not going to go all in.
I'm not going all in. Are you thinking about it?
I am tempted just because of there's a lot that I'd like and there's not a lot that I don't like. So, like, okay, if I was going to like my dream world, I would pass on the 2-pack and the dwarf accessories. And that's dream world. That's where I would pass. More realistically, the for sure's that I think I'm going to pick up, like I will order them, will be Atlas, Cinderhorn. What'd you say Rigatoni's name was? Rigarion, that's right. Yeah, it's got to be some sort of...
Taking a shot at it.
Yeah, Rigarion and the Yoshinari. I think those are like my for sure's.
Okay.
I'm almost positive I'm also going to add the bear.
Okay.
I am also pretty sure that I'm going to add the female Barbarian.
Right.
Very tempted by the regular Barbarian, but I don't know. I like him, but it's probably going to come down to like how much is this all going to cost me. So once I start actually tallying it up, he might get cut. Dispatar, I think I'm okay with leaving him. Umbra, definitely don't need. Scapular is kind of my biggest question mark because I do want him. I just don't like that he's a little more expensive. I guess I could maybe sell some of those extra accessories to bring him back down to a regular price. But to me, the extra accessories aren't worth $10. But it's $10. Am I going to not have Scapular in my collection for $10? I don't know. How about you, Jordan? Is there anything you're going to pre-order? Or what are you tempted by at least so you don't like the nerds don't hunt you down for not pre-ordering anything?
Yeah, hate me. I would agree with you. I think Atlas, that's pretty cool for $37.
Yeah.
I'm surprised just because, I think that is a cool look. Definitely a one that would, out of these, to me, that one would be the most like fit in kind of with some of the stuff that I already have.
Yeah. And he's crazy expensive right now too.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
The regular one I think is $300, maybe $400.
Yeah.
Probably not anymore, but yeah.
I think that's cool that you can then get him at that retail price. The bear is cool, man. I do have to say. $85. It's a cool bear.
I feel you on that. 85 is a lot of money, but it is a lot of figure.
A lot of bear.
It's a lot of bear. And I was thinking too, kind of like with the trolls, where it's got that alternate head, you could use whichever head you're not displaying with as kind of a like mounted on the wall trophy type of look,
there you
which
go.
I think would be a cool, like if somebody could do like a 3D custom, like like the wooden part of that where you can plug the neck into that. $1 million idea, folks. Go ahead and take it. Just send me a free one for getting you off the ground. Anything else?
The regular, kind of the Barbarian, the one you were talking about, broader.
Yeah, you like that Viking?
I also like that. I'm intrigued by the. I don't know. Do we call it a Minotaur?
Yeah.
Okay. He's also interesting to me. That is also interesting that he's that scale.
Yeah.
I feel like that seems like a good deal for that.
Right.
$60 for him.
Maybe
him, Atlas. What?
You don't have a ogre scale figure, right?
I don't have anything ogre scale, no. So.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you're at least tempted by Atlas, Fodvar, Broder, and
think.
Rigarion.
Yes, those are probably the 4. If I were to pick out ones that I'd be tempted by, it would be those. I think.
I'm a little surprised you're not interested in Cinderhorn, but
yeah,
it's understandable. I get you.
Leave that one to you.
Yeah, I'll take it. Very cool. All right, that was our look at the new Mythic Legions. Let us know in the comments, what did I get wrong? Because obviously I got the names wrong on probably almost all of them. But that's kind of the way it goes with Mythic Legions. You don't really know how to say anything. What are you going to be picking up? What are you tempted by? Am I crazy for even being on the fence about Scapular? Because I know that I am, honestly. I know that there was a lot of folks, or not a lot of folks. One of our fans came up and was like very upset at you, Jordan, because he didn't think that you had any Mythic Legions. But I assured him, I was like, no, Jordan has them. They're just not prominently displayed. But you do have them. You're just not as excited about them as I am, which is it's okay. I'm a little.
Maybe I'm just a little more choosy because I think I know, maybe I'm afraid to take that plunge, Dakota, because once I do,
well, it
adds up.
An upcoming episode that we're gonna, or at least I'm gonna do. Jordan might be here for it. I'm gonna do kind of a ranking of all the Mythic Legions that I have and have had. There's not very many that I've sold off, but I'm gonna do kind of the rank of like, I love this figure, I'm glad I have it, I sold this figure, things like that. Okay. So I was just collecting all of the images for that, and I added it up. It was like I spent over $3,000 on Legions. I was like, ooh, I shouldn't add this up, or maybe I should add it up more often. But anyway, that was our look at the new wave. Let us know your thoughts. Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing, and until next time, stay strong.